Welcome to Neuromotion Lab, where we explore the fascinating intersection of neuroscience and athletic performance. I'm Fabio Guida, physical therapist, trainer, mental performance coach, and I'm passionate about helping athletes like you to reach your full potential. Hello, and welcome back to Neuromotion Lab podcast, where movement meets the mind. My name is Fabian Guida, and today we're going to talk about something that every gymnast and honestly, every athlete face at some point. We're talking about mental blocks and negativity. But first, let me say this. I don't know if you remember in the last episode about visual training in sport, I mentioned that there was a Easter egg in the podcast and invite you to try to find it. Unfortunately, nobody did. So I decided to include a Easter egg in this episode too. So if you find it, please leave your notes in the comments. Saying that, let's focus on our topic from today. You train hard. Your body knows the skill. You have done it 100 times. And suddenly you can't. You hesitate, freeze, doubt, and every attempt feels heavier. This is what we call a mental block. But it's more than fear. It's the product of how your brain, body, and emotion interact under pressure. And today we will explore the neurochemical roots of these blocks, the psychological patterns that feed negativity, and the practical ways to rewire your mind for confidence, focus, and flow. Let's talk about the science of mental block. When gymnasts experience a mental block, the brain enters what we call it a protective inhibition loop. It's a real neuropsychological state. Here's what happened. The amygdala, your emotional alarm, detects potential threat. Sometimes that threat is just a memory of a bad landing or a voice of self-doubt. Then the amygdala signals danger to the hypothalamus, which activates the stress response. Adrenaline and cortisol flood the bloodstream. Then the prefrontal cortex, which handles reasoning, motor control, and focus, gets overridden. Then the basal ganglia, the motor memory center, can execute learning movements because conscious control has interrupted automatic flow. The result? You know, you freeze, doubt, overthink, even though your body knows what to do. Don't misunderstand all these signals, because this isn't a mental weakness. It's an overprotective nervous system trying to keep you safe. But here is the key insight. Your brain learns safety through experience, not through logic. You can't talk yourself out of fear. You have to train your brain out of it. So let's talk about the psychological part and the psychological aspect of negativity. Negativity in sport is not just pessimism, it's a pattern of thought reinforced by repetition. Let's break it down. Cognitive bias. The human brain naturally focuses on danger and mistakes because evolution favors survival over happiness. Rumination. When athletes replay mistakes in their head, they strain the same neural circuit that produce fear. Perfectionism. The never good enough mindset creates a chronic dissatisfaction, raising cortisol and blocking dopamine, the substance of motivation and reward. So that is the reason that sometimes for some athletes negativity feels powerful because it feels true. But neurologically, it's just a habit. I got to repeat that because it's very important for you understand, especially gymnasts. Negativity neurologically is just a habit and a well-trained pattern. Here is how this works chemically. Cortisol and norepinephrine rise with anxiety, narrowing focus and raising muscle tension. Low dopamine reduces motivation and anticipation of reward. Low serotonin increase insecurity and irritability. Endorphins and oxytocin, which create calm and connection, are suppressed. So negativity literally changed the chemical climate of your brain. It's make confidence feel danger and stress feel normal. That is why mindset work isn't just motivation. It's neurobiological condition. Now let's talk about how to change the script. Reprogramming negativity starts with changes your internal language, your self-talk. We're talking about in last episode about self-talk, and then reinforce it with emotion and repetition. Let's look at how to do that systematically. First, awareness training. Before you can change your thoughts, you must to hear them. Start noticing the tone of your inner dialogue during training. Let's think about some practice task. Ask, what do I say to myself when I miss? What is the emotion behind my self-talk? Frustration, shame, fear? What is? This is no just a side conversation because awareness activates the prefrontal cortex, which automatically reduces the amygdala activity. Naming an emotion starts regulating it. 2. The reframe technique. When you catch a negativity phrase like, I always mess it up, stop, take a break, and reframe it. Something like, I'm learning consistency. Every repetition brings control. It might be believable. The brain rejects fake positivity. This builds new association between challenge and opportunity. Over time, it rewired the default script from defense to curiosity. 3. Anchored affirmation. Choose 2 or 3 phrases that express confidence and safety. For example, I'm grounded and sharp. My body knows this move. I trust my rhythm. Say them while you breathe deeply or perform a small gesture like tapping your chest, placing a hand or on your abdomen. This is going to anchor the words to physical sensation, connecting emotion, movement, and cognition, a powerful neuroplastic trio. 4. Progressive visualization. Instead of imagining a perfect performance, imagine process and emotion. Step into the gym, feel the floor, breathe, visualize the routine in slow motion, see yourself landing with control. Feel relief and pride. Neurons that fire together wire together. You are rehearsing not just movement, but emotion, training your brain to associate safety with execution. 5. Reset breathe. After mistakes or mental freezes, use one cycle of 4-7-8 breathing. That means inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. This reactivates the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering heart rate and calming muscle tension. Each breath tells your amygdala, I'm safe. 6. Micro success reinforcement. After each training session, write down one small success, something you're controlling, not just results. This practice triggers the release of dopamine and helps your brain anticipate future rewards. Negativity feeds on forgetting progress. This later reflection requires the reward system to notice growth. Let's talk about the positive mindset as a neurochemical training. A positive mindset isn't pretending everything is fine, everything is okay, It's really training your neurosystem to maintain stability and adaptability under stress. When you shift your focus from fear to confidence, first, your serotonin rising, stabilize mood and confidence. Then, second, your dopamine increase, feeling motivation and drive. Third, endorphins create calmness, lowering percept of pain and fatigue. And oxytocin finally enhance trust, both self-trust and team cohesion. This biochemical harmony enhances neuroefficiency. Signals travel faster, reaction times improve, and motor coordination becomes smoother. Athletes in this state experience flow, that effortless performance zone where action and thoughts merge. The secret of reaching that zone more often is to make positivity a training protocol. Know what reaction to success. That means training gratitude like a muscle. Practice self-compassion after mistakes. Give the opportunity to do mistakes and learn with. Using reflection, not judgment. Let's put this in a practical mental conditioning drills. Here are drills that you can integrate into your gymnastic training or mental prepare session. Okay, here we go. Think about on walking into the gym, and the first thing that you're going to do is grounding and focus drill. So before start skill, pause. Place your feet on the ground, breathe, and describe out loud three things that you see, two things you feel, one sound you heard. This ground awareness in the present moment and silence mental noise. Visualization later. Visualize skills successful in three speed. Super slow, where the focus is on control, medium, natural rhythm, and real time, flow and confidence. This progression strengthens neural sequence and timing. Pattern interruption. When negativity arises, use a physical cue. Snap your fingers, exhale loudly like or take a small step back. This is going to interrupt the loop and reset focus. The rewrite journal. After each session, write two columns. Old script, what negativity thoughts appear. New script, how you want to reframe them next time. This written form of neuroplasticity rewires faster because you involve language, reflection, and visual memory. Confidence conditioning. Create a playlist or mantra that evokes strength and self-belief. Listen before training. The brain associates rhythm and emotion, using dopamine and endorphins to prime readiness. Sleep and night priming. Before bed, replay one small moment of confidence or progress in your mind. As you fall asleep, your brain consolidates those emotional memories during REM sleep, turning them into a subconscious pattern. Now let's talk a little bit about deep psychology of positivity. Positivity isn't about forcing happiness. It's about creating psychological safety, the inner belief that mistakes are information, not threats. When gymnasts feel safe to fail, their nervous system stays flexible. They experiment, learn, and recover faster. Negativity, on the other hand, closes the system. Positivity, open it. This is the same principle used in therapy, leaderships, and motor learning. The open loop state. It's the mindset that said, I don't to be perfect. I just have to stay curious. That curiosity activates the dopamine learning loop, making the brain more receptive to new motor patterns and to adaptive behaviors. So positivity isn't emotionally, it's not emotionally, it's functionally. I'm going to repeat again because that is very important for gymnasts. Please, positivity isn't emotional, it's is functional. Okay? let's do a recap and integration for all the topics that we talk about in this podcast. Let's sum up. First, mental blocks are neural protection, no weakness. Okay? It's no weak, it's you protecting yourself. Negativity is a habit of thought, reinforced by repetition. Positive mindset rewires the brain body connection through neurochemistry and practice. The tools: awareness, reframing, breath, visualization, journaling, grounding, sleep. The goal: a stable nervous system that performs with clarity and flow. The brain doesn't change because you wish it. It's changed because you train it. And every breath, every phrase, every repetition of focus build a neural architecture. Well, thank you for joining me today on Neuromotion Lab podcast. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who is struggling with fear, doubt, or mental blocks. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and on my channel on YouTube for more tools on neuroperformance, movement psychology, and mind-body training. And remember, every skill begins in the brain, every performance begins with a thought, and every transformation begins with awareness. See you in the next episode. Bye.